Good morning, it's April 11th, and this is To My Liberal Friends. I normally like to stay out of social issues for a couple of reasons. First, I know they don't really affect me at this point in my life, and so I don't get that excited about them. And two, I cannot change them, so why bother getting involved in them? But there is one issue that I believe has the possibility to have a long-term effect on the United States, and probably not for the reasons that some might list. And I'm talking about abortion. There's no rhyme or reason to this issue. It's emotional and devoid of any fact when you start the debate. Nobody seems to look beyond that word and try to bring some sanity to the issue. On the right, we have the staunch pro-life people that would oppose abortion at any time in the pregnancy and for any reason. In red states, they're pushing laws that are extreme. In Indiana, they passed a law fully banning abortion, but fortunately the law was blocked by the state Supreme Court, but ultimately it's going to get a ruling on its constitutionality. West Virginia, a ruby red state, has also followed suit banning abortion. The Georgia legislature has enacted a 6-week ban on abortion. Being honest, many women don't know they're pregnant at that time frame. Alabama has a total ban on abortions on the books in the wake of the Roe decision. Same with Louisiana, Oklahoma followed suit. Tennessee has a total ban. That list continues with Mississippi, Arkansas, Kentucky, Missouri, South Dakota, and Idaho. Wisconsin has what is considered a de facto ban, allowing an abortion up to 20 weeks. Then we have a long list of states with various bans in place. Florida, it's 15 weeks. South Carolina, 20 weeks. North Carolina, 20 weeks. Ohio, 20 weeks. And it's the same in Kansas, Iowa, North Dakota, Utah, Nebraska. All have a 20-week ban on abortion past that point. And all of these states are getting to what I think is a reasonable limit. Even some of the more liberal or blue states have laws with some form of limits. In these cases, the limits seem to center on 24 weeks. And those states include California, Washington, Nevada, Arizona, Montana, Wyoming, Minnesota, Illinois, Michigan, Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, Maine, New Hampshire, and Rhode Island. And you think about that, that's a pretty good mixture of red and blue states. And then we have the outliers that allow abortion on demand with no limits. These states are Oregon, Colorado, New Mexico, New Jersey, and Vermont. And as you can see, there are extremes on both sides of this hot-button issue. I was disappointed when the decision came down on Roe v. Wade, but having read the decision, something most of the protesters have not bothered to do, it was legally sound. Legal experts have been saying for decades that the Roe decision was flawed in many ways and ripe for the correct challenge. What most people who supported the Roe decision don't know is that it said during the first trimester, the woman had full discretion to get an abortion. During the second trimester, the states could regulate. They couldn't outlaw abortion, but they could regulate it. And in the third trimester, the government could regulate or outlaw abortions with some exceptions for medical reasons. That sounds like the 3 different classifications I've just said in the post-Roe period of what states have done. But I also know that this emotional issue is changing the way people vote. Way too many have become a single-issue voter. The Republican Party has got to find a way out of the Gordian knot they've tied themselves in. There's been a compromise on the issue, and it has to be. And I think a lot of states have found it with a 22 and 24-week ban. Polling on this issue shows that 61% of Americans believe that abortion should be legal. Where this gets more complicated is that the public changes their support depending on the length of the pregnancy. The support for an abortion goes down by the second trimester. At that point, about 50% say it should be permitted. And when you get to the third trimester, the support for abortion falls off a cliff, with more saying it should be illegal than legal. I caveat this by saying that most people continue to believe an abortion is legal if the life of the mother is severely threatened. Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican of South Carolina, in the post-Roe period, introduced legislation that would make abortions legal up to 15 weeks. And that immediately got pushed back from the left. Chuck Schumer said on the floor he would never allow that to happen. But Graham's on the right track. We need a federal law on this issue to resolve it, and my suggestion is 24 weeks. This puts the pregnancy into the third trimester, and that is the comfort zone for a large majority of the public. My main concern about this issue, as I've said, it's just a single-issue voting pattern, especially with young women, and that's not good for the country. In reality, it affects very few of these voters, but they get excited about it. But Republicans need to resolve this issue with a compromise that puts them back on even footing with the issue. Then they can concentrate on the economic issues, which is their strong suit. They can start letting people know that we need solutions to things like Social Security and Medicare, the massive national debt, defense spending, the government spending is out of control, and all of the other government programs that need help. To Republicans, I say, fix this problem now. Find a compromise that puts the extremists on the other side of the norm of public opinion, and get it done now. This has been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy the podcast, hit the subscribe button and recommend it to your friends.